Attention on deck!
Hi everybody, Army P here for Explorminate.net, and welcome back to our Let's Try of Stellaris with the new DLC Leviathans installed. If you remember from our last episode, what we've been doing is taking our a liberation war to the Jakal, who have been an aggressive rival of ours and on my federation that I'm a part of for pretty much the beginning of the game. So our alliance is the auspicious Entente. So we are going to be taking it to him. We are now full-fledged in the war. If you remember from our last episode, we were able to take the planet of Burbit. And right now I plan on taking out his frontier outpost here in the Kimiathar system. And after that, we're going to try to rack up our war score high enough that he will submit to our demands. Now, if you remember from what our demands were, we wanted to stop the atrocities, making sure that he's not able to commit slavery or purging, and we'll also gain a bonus of influence by doing so. We're going to liberate the actual planet I'm on right now and have secured of Burbit, and we're going to humiliate him, which of course means that he will get a bonus or a debuff to his influence gain and happiness for 10 years. And at the same time, it's going to give us another 100 influence. So there's some big bonuses here. I'm just going to take it here. Now I have my fleets set to discourage my alliance members from following my main fleet. Now if you remember from the previous patches that when you were in a federation, what would happen was the allied fleets would instantly converge onto your location and attack what you were attacking, instead of just spreading out all over the system. So I set that to discourage because I want the AI to, you know, take it to or I want my federation to take it to the Jakal on our own. So that's what one of these fleets have done. You can see here that our allied fleet has a combination of destroyers and corvettes. He actually had a rather large battle in this system. He mopped up, and now he intends to take out all of these mining locations. So we might as well just see how this goes. When you can see here, I really love the changes they've done to space battles. The sounds, the sights of it, it's just awesome. So he's taking out a transport ship as we speak. These guys won't last much longer. No, and down they're gone. So he's already taking out these, what do you call it, space station over top of Yopalia. And it looks like he's now focusing on wormhole generators. And I think he's going to be taking out anything else in the sector. While he's doing that, you can see my fleet here at 2.7 thousand K military power is making it to this sector where we are going to take out two of his different frontier outposts, diminishing his stranglehold and his influence in this sector. Now my fleet's comprised of 30 different, oh, it looks like stations under attack. Which station's that? Oh, it looks like I set up a defensive perimeter here, so that's what you'll see here at the panel of Burbit. What I've done is I've set up a defensive station of 104 power. It's nothing major, but the reason I did that was because I wanted to protect my planet. What is it he's got here? Inspecting. Oh, it's just his it's just his science ship. His science ship ended up coming up right into, getting ensnared in our faster than light snare here. That's what that, of course, the inhibitor has on every one of the defensive stations. So that's perfect. We were able to completely destroy it. I don't know if I'm going to build that. I think I'm just going to take my construction ship and head her back to safe space for the time being. I've upgraded a few of my space stations just to get him up and going. I had the money, why not? And now we're going to take his frontier outpost out. Hostile fleets engaged. Okay, that means us. Wasn't too sure if he had snuck something behind. So it looks like we've engaged the frontier outpost. Now we're going to take out this little mining station. Why not? It says that no one owns it. Oh, the reason that no one owns it is because he's lost. With the frontier station destroyed, it's become neutral. That's actually interesting. I can't quite remember what the deal was there. I don't know. I didn't realize that you could destroy a frontier outpost, and you can see here that his zone of control, his influence, his borders have been diminished. So I'm actually going to do the exact same thing here. We got... Oh, I have a military station, transport ships. Okay, we're not going to be doing that there. So I'm going to take my fleet and then dig deeper into the Jakal system. Meanwhile, let's see how our allies are doing. I'm hoping that he's mopping up some of these stations. No, it looks like he's intending to go somewhere else. That's okay by me. Oops, I don't want that. I want this. My bad. I sent the fleet to the wrong sector. Return home, sector. There you go. So our first war of this game has begun rather well. Doesn't look like the Jatal have anything in terms of resistance. I think he spent his main fleet attempting to stop us from entering his space and destroying some of his infrastructure. Well, it looks like we've got our allies are knee deep in taking out another one of his spaceports. Perfect. Won't be long, and ooh, boom. That's it. And what's this? Oh, okay, it's two different fleets he's got going on. This station's under attack. Okay, so who? Hostile fleet. Oh, it's just another science ship that got caught in my snare. Not even sweating it. Not even sweating it. So I've just made it to the same area that my allied fleets have. Doesn't look like there's anything here for us to blow up, so we might as well carry on. And right now what I'm trying to do is just rack up enough war score that the Jakal will end up just submitting to our war demands. What are we going to do for research? Plasma thrower. Physics lab. You know what? Why not a plasma thrower? Okay, we're getting ready for our faster than light jump. I'm gonna bust it up a little bit faster here because this mop up phase, we don't want to have to spend too much time on it. I don't think that there's anything here that's really going to be stopping us. Okay, he's got space station here. He's got a total of. Oh, and he also had a transport ship that he ended up going back onto the planet of Clue. And we're going to take out... Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, he was trying to build... Okay, so here's an example. What he was trying to do is rebuild some type of fleet. We were able to take down what looked like one Corvette very quickly. Now you can see here that the space station has missile attacks. Yes, beat it, beak face. And I want to show off that my destroyers actually have a fair amount of point defense. So let's see how that actually plays out visually anyway, because you can see here that, wow, that is just a... Okay, the crew have managed to collect some goodies. Okay, that's good. So yeah, not to digress, but you could have seen that there was a little bit of point defense there, and we were able to mop that up. But with this chain lightning, we're taking out his panel or his space station with impunity. All right, we're gonna carry on. Looks like we've got a war score of 47 now. We're marching ever closer to the goal of 100%. Okay, what do we got here for research complete of cruiser assembly yards? So that means cruiser assembly yards. Perfect. And that means that we're going to be able to build cruisers. And with my ever abundant amount of minerals that's getting poured in, I'm not even sweating. I should be able to field a rather large cruiser outpost or cruiser fleet in short time. Defensive stations. You know what I like? I like playing around with the defensive stations a little bit in this game, just because they seem a little bit stronger. You can see here that this military spaceport has a military power of 885. That's pretty sizable fleet, so, or a pretty sizable military command before they were even less, right? But I'm kind of curious if I start building up my space stations in terms of the tech that they have available. if I can have them, you know, be effective against a larger fleet, because a lot of times in the older patches of the game, unfortunately, that was just not the case. Wow, we're just mopping them up. And there's my allies coming in. Oh, jeez, there's not much left. Watching this game in fast motion is always it's very entertaining. Okay, I think he's got a wormhole generator here. We might as well just take that out for the fun of it. Pretty sure that we've gotten to the point now where he can't even field any type of resistance. Okay, so we've got a special project. Well, I think what we're doing is right now I'm just going around researching different animals in and around the galaxy for one of my different situations. I'm trying to figure out what it was. Mysteries of the Universe. No, it was alien specimen procurement. So that's what, when you see these kind of things pop up, that's exactly what it is. It's just me floating around the entire solar system, doing my best to research different things. You know, just the dichotomy of that is actually pretty funny. There's an entire federation at war, but there's also time for procuring small different animals for my Xenozoo one day. That's always entertaining to me. Okay, so let's see how my fleet is doing. What do? We warp in here. Well, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for this over here. Okay, we've mopped up that. We'll just take out his mining station. Why not? I don't think that mining stations do anything for the war score. I think it's actually only, at this point, it's only space stations, frontier outposts, defensive outposts are the ones that increase your war score. I don't actually think killing the mining does anymore. But we will see. I want my navy to be a bit bigger. So we're going to try to increase my naval capacity. We'll just taking this out for the fun of it, just so he doesn't get any minerals, whatever minerals that might be. And have a nice day. That's all mopped up. Okay, so as far as I know, the only thing that we have left is in the Halda system, which also means that I'm probably going to have to invade yet another planet. So I might as well field my attacking fleet. Why not? Embark all. And we'll head down to this system. Well, it's frontier outposts. Why not take that out? Now we'll take it out later. Okay, we got an upgrade. Trade deal exploration between the Hartardi. I believe that I had a research agreement. Let's see what it did. Oh no, active sensor link. That's what I actually had. I don't want to give him because he's not part of the Federation quite yet. I got the active sensor link because he was actually in a war. If you remember from previous episode. Okay. Pop back in. He doesn't have any more space stations, so we've got a war score of 51. What do we got for trade deals? Nothing. Revoking citizenship. So again, more AI politics coming in, so we're just going to pay that. Where's my hostile fleet engaging with? Oh, okay. Still trapped in my faster than light thing. Plasma thrower is complete. What's this? Quantum destabilizer. It's a component that decreases the enemy's firing rate. Interesting. Yeah, why not? Well, particle lance, that's an extra large. You'll see here the X represents that it's a component that can only go on an extra large ship, which I believe at this point is only the battle stations. The quantum destabilizer. I think I'm going to get that. Every time I see one of these special projects, I always end up going for those anyway. We're just mopping up some of his mining operations through his different sectors. Have a nice day. Okay, and he has given up. So we have reached a war score of 51, and he has given up all, given in to all of our demands. See, that's what happens when you push us around. I'm going to take you out, eat you up for breakfast. A little bit of waffles, a little bit of chicken, a little bit of syrup. Now you're mine there, Four Eyes. Okay, whatever you claim will be we will reclaim 1,000-fold. Your victory will mean nothing when you have been reduced to ash. Yeah, not really scared about your beacon off. Okay, so we were able to humiliate him stop atrocities and liberate his planet. Now it looks like we've been pushed away from his area of space, as typical for that type of war. So obviously we're not allowed in his area anymore, so our fleet is on its way home. When it'll get there is unknown to us. We have gotten our victory, which is perfect, exactly what we wanted. We're gonna go down to normal speed, and okay, so now we've got these new friends, and let's see what they all are about. So this is the cool part about, this is not just 1.3. I actually think that this liberate option came in Asimov, which is patch 1.2, but I really like that you could play a peaceful race, but actually still go on the offensive by wanting to liberate certain planets, by making them, demanding that they stop using war atrocities or atrocities like purging or slavery, or just straight up go to war to humiliate them because they've been your rival for so long. So now we've got a new council, the Asfarnar Democratic Council. You can see here that the liberated planet that I demanded that be liberated is actually an individualist and fanatic spiritualist, and that is, I believe, at least in part, some of my own ethics. Just to double check, I want to make sure that he ended up getting that. Yeah, because I thought that we were xenophiles, but he ended up getting at least one favorable ethical trait from us. So you can see right here, even though he hated us, this race hated us for so long, our approval rating is already plus 25. So we can offer an association status, invite the Federation, or nothing. I think that's pretty much it right there. I'm going to be demanding that they're our vassal at one point or another. But they got a neutral attitude. So I'm going to let that, kind of get up a little bit in terms of our trust level. So our trust level can go to 50, but we get a base decay of 20.25. Problem is, if I offer an association status and then he gets voted in, I won't be able to actually make him my vassal and then integrate him into my society. So I don't know if I really want to do that yet. For tribute. So I'm just going to let that sit for a little while, and hopefully I have to look at this a little bit further to see how I'm going to effectively be able to get him in, because the problem is that now that I'm in a federation, I can't just give him a guarantee of independence. Doesn't seem to be an option for me anymore in this loading screen. So also kind of want to do it. Maybe I'll just give him a really good research deal. What has he got there? Well, he doesn't want anything from us, because how about I just give him some minerals? How about an instant transfer of, let's say, what do I got? 7,500 in the bank. I'll give it 1,000. I mean, look at that. Plus 39 for that trade offer. He'll take it. For sure he will. Okay, and he has taken it and he accepts it. What is my relations with him now? Plus 63. Perfect. Okay, so now I can demand that he becomes my vassal state, which I'm going to do. I'm going to, now that I've given him a big sum of money, and now he's my vassal. Perfect. So this is one of the ways that you can kind of get around still being a peaceful race, but then, effectively taking over another, basically a long route of seceding another one of the planets away from your enemies, by liberating them, having them be on the same ethics that you are, at least favorable to yours, and then demand that they be your vassal. So now I do believe, if I look here, he's my vassal, so he pays me a certain number of, he goes along with my diplomatic options. Well, vassals are subservient to the overlord. They have been limited democratic options, and they will fight along their warlords. So essentially he's just, under my control. It's just not that subjective, right? And if you look down in the further screen, I can integrate my subject, but he has to be a part of my empire for 10 years, and then depending on the size of the size of his vassal will depend greatly on how long he'll integrate in. But as soon as he integrates into my society, I'll at least have that location where my two sides of my borders here for the west and the east of this sector won't be closed off. In the meantime, I'm going to build a frontier outpost and start getting some even more minerals. So that was the war that we're gonna fight. I don't think that there's gonna be a lot of war in this game. I'm not playing a warmongering type character, and because my federation is so lovey-dovey, and they're generally peacefaring and loving people. I don't imagine that we're going to be doing a lot of conquest. I kind of did this more just to show off different war options that you could achieve, including, like what we said, we've gone through the humiliation, so the stopping of the purging. I'd love to see what's happening on some of his planets, right? Because if he did have a considerable amount of people that were being forced into slavery right now, his entire empire is just in a muck right now. Alright, and then we're going to continue on. So what I'm probably going to do after having showed you just that limited war that we had between our Federation and the Jucal, I'm going to fast forward a little bit, and that fast forward, I'm really hoping that I'm going to get to a certain technological level where one or two things actually occur. One of the two fallen empires that we have on the map are going to awaken, and I'll be able to show you firsthand of what that kind of looks like, or by fast forwarding considerably, and then we get an endgame crisis, and seeing how all of the different races react to that, because sometimes a endgame crisis would come, and unfortunately all of the different races would not either band together, or they would hold on to old grudges, and they just wouldn't do enough to try to band together and fight off that endgame crisis. Because in terms of what we have left, aside from maybe taking down the space dragon, a lot of Leviathans we've either shown off in terms of this game. Now I know that in the DLC, the Leviathans, there are 6 different ones that you can find in and around the map, but because I'm playing on a smaller map, I don't believe I'm going to find any more than just the space dragon, who's currently residing somewhere here in the eastern point of the map. Okay, everybody, so this has been Army P from Explorminate.net. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and keep watching, because I'm guessing that as we get even closer and closer to the year 2300 in the game, we're going to start seeing some really interesting endgame developments. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.